Detangling has been taught as something that happens in the shower. Wet hair, conditioner, and forcing your fingers through knots. But the truth is, that is when your hair is actually at its weakest point. Hair swells when it gets wet, and swollen hair means more friction. Not only more friction, but more resistance and more breakage. That is why I created Simple Satin to change when detangling actually happens. Simple Satin is a pre-wash detangling botanical oil. This product is designed to be used on dry hair before the hydrogen bond is ever broken, before water ever touches your hair strands. This is not a leave-in oil, it's not a finishing oil, and it is not meant to be left in the hair for long periods of time. Simple Satin is really meant to be shampooed out with a clarifying shampoo after the treatment and detangling process is finished, because after all, nothing goes on the human scalp but shampoo unless you're treating an imbalance or managing an infection. Simple Satin is a preparation step, one that makes all of the things that follow it after. I know you may be thinking, oh, isn't this like pre-poo? No, it's not, because your standard pre-poo actually breaks the hydrogen bond in the hair. This makes sure that it's at maximum strength while clearing the scalp and balancing its microbiome in the process. So why does dry detangling matter in the first place? It is scientifically proven that when hair is dry, it is in its most stable and strongest state. Detangling your hair dry allows you to work with controlled tension on the hair strand. It allows you to release tangles gradually without breaking or snapping the hair. And in return, you avoid forcing strands that are already swollen to become apart. But again, dry detangling only works if you introduce a certain type of slip that does not combine with buildup, clogging of the pores and the hair shaft. Without the right formulation and preparation, the human hair shaft when dry can also break as well. Probably not as fast as it will when it's wet, but it can still break. Well, Simple Satin provides that slip that you need while enforcing, and this will cause tangles to loosen instead of tightening closer together when the hair is wet and you're doing it the way that you're accustomed to. So of course, a water-based product doesn't make sense for dry detangling, right? Oil coats the hair shaft because it's a sealant, so it's going to reduce friction, and it will allow your hair shaft, your strands to glide past each other without snagging due to the swelling that happens when the hair is wet. But remember, not all oils work the same. Simple Satin use powerful botanical oils that allow the hair to glide past each other and soften the hair without suffocating it like heavy oils, like let's say a coconut oil would. This is a botanical oil that rinses out really well when we're using a clarifying shampoo after shampooing. And the truth of the matter is, even though a clarifying shampoo is recommended, you can still shampoo Simple Satin out without a harsh clarifying shampoo. Let's get into the full botanical breakdown of Simple Satin. Every ingredient within Simple Satin has a job. There is nothing within this formulation that is a filler. Number one, marshmallow root. Marshmallow root is the backbone of this formula. It is known for its naturally slippery compounds. These compounds coat the hair shaft and dramatically reduce friction during the detangling and combing and all of the things. This key constituent this ingredient is what allows the detangling process to be smooth instead of stressful with a bunch of friction and a bunch of hair in your combs and brushes. Instead of your detangling process being a haircut, it's just going to be something like a conditioning and scalp balancing treatment. Next up is Bodoc root. If you shop within Simple Apothecary, you know that I have Bodoc root in a little bit of everything. Bodoc root supports scalp clarity, right? We need that. Bodoc root supports scalp clarity and comfort. It helps to discourage buildup and it prepares the scalp for the cleansing process, breaking up colonized areas of bacteria and yeast on the scalp to prepare the hair for the shampooing process without clogging or leaving behind a sticky residue. Your hair will not feel weighed down. Next up is nettle root and nettle leaf. It's really important. Both parts of the plant hold different key constituents. They're amazing. Nettle is really mineral rich, and traditionally it's been used to support scalp balance and the strength of the actual hair shaft. They also help to regulate the scalp's sebum production on an external level, and this is really important because the balancing the colonizing of the scalp's yeast, it really helps you to manage the forms of yeast and bacteria that are living on the scalp. So the chances of you having dandruff or a bacterial infection like seborrheic dermatitis or folliculitis, those things become really limited when the scalp's microbiome is managed. Remember, bacteria and yeast, they all thrive in really oily and moist environments. So the more we regulate the sebum and make sure that your body isn't producing too much sebum that the body isn't able to regulate, this is one of the things that we use, and I'll tell you how in a second. Next up is hibiscus for its flexibility and shine. This reduces resistance at the ends, and after all, the ends is one of our big problem points. This is where the majority of the breakage comes from during the detangling process, the ends. Well, the key constituents within hibiscus get past this for us. And then there is rosemary, which is one of the most powerful and most important functional properties and key constituents of Simple Satin. Rosemary gives us our scalp support. Now, Simple Satin is not a hair growth oil. You know how y'all see all of these different people on social media just covering the scalp with all this oil and this grease? Girl, no, that's not what this is for. But you know how I always say in all of my videos over the years, nothing goes on the scalp but shampoo unless you're trying to cure an infection. Now, the only time that Simple Satin is used on the scalp is if you are using it during the detangling process. For example, let's say you've had a sew-in in your hair for 3 months, right? And you haven't been able to get to the scalp, and you may see that you have like a white overcast on the scalp. You have a whole lot of yeast and bacteria on the scalp. Then in this case, you would take Simple Satin and you will fill a cotton ball with Simple Satin, and you will go across your scalp with that cotton ball everywhere. I will flip sides, maybe do it twice, right? I will always say do it until the cotton ball kind of looks clean. Obviously it won't be clean, but until it looks a little white. And then once the cotton ball is white, then take the balls of your fingers, that's it, just the balls of your fingers, and then massage in circular patterns on the scalp. And after that is done, you could go ahead and finish with the detangling process, starting from the ends, working your way up to the roots, and then you can go ahead and cover with a plastic cap and let your body heat do the job for no longer than 25 minutes. After those 25 minutes, shampoo at least 3 times with a clarifying or detoxing shampoo, or if you don't have either one of those, it's not a big deal. Just kind of stay away from moisturizing shampoos because after all, you're getting rid of oil. A little bit goes a very long way. This bottle should last you a really long time. This is my bottle, right? And I've used it multiple times on my daughter, and I'm not even, a little bit goes a really long way. So let's hop back into rosemary. So rosemary is included for way more than just the fragrance. It's been known in cosmetic formulations for years for its purifying properties. Rosemary helps to purify the scalp's surface. It discourages the overgrowth of yeast, bacteria, and fungi. So this is one of our really big power players. And it supports a clean and balanced scalp environment. This is not about treating scalp infections or medical conditions. Girl, you still need to see a dermatologist for that. This is about creating the type of environment where the type of imbalances that will cause different types of yeast infections of the scalp and different follicle infections of the scalp. This will cause those things to be a lot less likely because the scalp's microbiome is not overgrown but balanced. This is why Simple Satin is a pre-wash oil, not because of the pre-poo phase and all of the things, because it's very different. This is applied before the shampoo. Rosemary helps to loosen up the buildup so you can easily clarify and remove all of those fatty deposits. One of the main reasons why the yeast and bacterial infections and everybody has CCCA and all of the different things is because you think that you're shampooing and removing things, but really you're just making a soup and mixing all of the yeast and bacteria up instead of really breaking things up and then cleansing them and removing them. Simple Satin does not treat dandruff or scalp infections. What it does is support scalp clarity so those things never happen in the first place. I'm all about prevention. By discouraging microbiome overgrowth, you allow the scalp's systems to reset naturally without being thrown off by an overgrowth of systems that it has no control over. And we do all of this without damaging the hair by combing and raking through it when it's weakest, which is when it's wet, and without harsh stripping or a leftover residue that's there weeks after you've used the product. So we've already talked about how to use it. So who is it actually for? This is for all hair types, but it's ideal for textured, curly, or wavy hair types. Long hair that tangles really easily, protective styles, or your wash day prep, of course, for like before. And when we talk about protective styles, the only time that I really recommend you using it in your hair and not taking it out is, let's say you are about to get your hair braided or you're about to put extensions in your hair. Don't put a whole puddle in your hair like that. No, you would literally take it, and I just want you to use a couple drops, right? Like give me like 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'll get another 4. That was 5. That's all we need. And then we're gonna put that, smells so good. And then you would just take that, like your hair is in a ponytail, and put it on your ends, right? And once you put that on your ends, now I'm ripping it on my pants, but once you go ahead and put that on your ends, then you can go ahead and braid it up. Or even if you are a cosmetologist, a braider, or you want to use it for your clients, a little bit goes a long way. I promise you. I meant to do 5 drops, but I think I did like 5 or 6. I mean like 6. But if you just did those little bit of drops, then you would be good. And then just with me going like this on my pants, this is the residue that is left, so it's not super duper oily and greasy or anything like that. The oils that are used, they absorb into the skin really well, and they also absorb into the hair shaft really well, and it does its job. This is not just a regular oil. There is an herbal complex that has been infused into this for months. Okay, so again, if you're focused on length retention, this is going to be the one for you, especially if you're doing this. If you use the right amount, just that little bit, then you're good. But just to use it at like oiling and greasing and buttering y'all scalp the way y'all use oils and stuff, hopefully I found a video like this. Girl, you use my stuff like this on your scalp, whatever happens, it's on you, okay? Because this is about balancing the scalp's microbiome, killing yeast and bacteria. If you use my oil like there's they're using theirs, you gonna kill good and bad bacteria, and your follicles need that. So I don't know what's gonna happen after that. This is a treatment. This is not an oil like the rest of the ones that y'all see on social media. So please do not compare it or use it the way that you use those. So if your entire detangling process feels like damage control, then this is something that will change everything for you. Why is it called Simple Satin? Well, my name is Sin, so it's a play on the word simple, and it's called satin because the goal is simplicity, not oiliness. It's that smooth, refined glide that you're looking for. It's that soft and smooth finish where everything on your entire scalp feels ready and at ease and completely controlled by you. Seriously, detangling should not feel like the battle that y'all have been fighting. Simple Satin turns the detangling process into preparation. So by the time the water hits your hair, the hard detangling process is already done, and the whole entire the whole dreadful wash day process that you used to go through every time now becomes a beauty ritual that you love. This is Detangling Refined. This is Simple Satin.